Good morning, sir.
Vacation and I'm in town. Network issues as well because due to rain there may be fluctuation. Okay, audible now, Deepak?
Yes, sir.
We'll wait for a minute so others may join. Today we are going to discuss in terms of as we started. Uh, we thought to discuss in terms of CIM, right? So what it is exactly that we'll try to discuss initially. So there are few terms available here which I'm trying to discuss. Okay. So in the previous session, we had discussion about different chemical engineering processes and how we can optimize them. Okay. So in that sequence, we had discussion in terms of heat transfer, mass transfer, and chemical reaction engineering somewhere. Okay. And the blended one, let's say for the fluid flow, FPM, I'm going to write fluid particle mechanics, let's say FPM. Right? So even we discussed in terms of gas transmission lines or heat exchanger networks. So how we can optimize the system and how the optimization or the process modeling can be then further used in different process industries that we have seen. Okay. So one more very important part is computer integrated manufacturing. In general, the discussion or the studies, those are available right now. Those having a kind of focus on um, more on the mechanical side. Okay. But yes, there also we have to take care of all these situations. Okay. So what it is exactly, let's say. So it is on your screen and I'm trying to just computer-aided design, prototype manufacture, then determining the efficient method for manufacturing by calculating the cost and considering the production methods, volume of product, storage and distribution, then ordering of necessary materials needed for the manufacturing process, then computer-aided manufacturing of the products with the help of computer numerical controls, quality controls. So these are the factors which we need to consider once you will go with the computer integrated manufacturing. Okay. So yes, here we can say that if we'll implement some automatic system or semi-automatic system where we can go with uh, softwares or the hardware, definitely it is going to be beneficial for the process which is already established. Okay. And nowadays, you know that in every situation we have to optimize the process, the parameters. So computer integrated manufacturing is always provides benefits. Okay. So you might be aware about CAD, computer aided design. Okay. So the first one is computer aided design. So initially, if you have that CAD with you for that particular system, let's discuss in terms of heat exchanger, if you'll say. So though heat exchanger is the single assembly, but we have to provide hot and cold, let's say fluid to that particular heat exchanger. So yes, there we are going to connect with pumps. So it may be centrifugal pump, it may be centripetal pump. Okay, depending upon your requirement. Then the piping, different types of piping, then bends if it is there, then the losses. There are many approaches we have to consider once we will start working on that particular system. Okay. So computer aided design is nothing but that is coupled with the manufacturing process actually. That is nothing but computer integrated manufacturing. Okay. Then sometimes we have to manufacture the prototypes there itself. We'll go with the CIM. If we'll go on that side, nowadays you may be aware about 3D printing. Okay. So, in fact, we have 3D print. No, we have laser printers. Right? I think we have 3D printers as well here in our university at Incubation Center, if I'm not wrong. So yes, 3D printing or the laser printing, which are used for the manufacturing of prototypes, where initially you have to design your system and then you have to develop the model. Okay. So yes, CIM can be used for the prototype manufacturing as well. Okay. And then sometimes you have to determine the efficient method for manufacturing by calculating the costs and considering the production methods, volume of the products, storage and distribution. So everything is kept here in this definition, in this point, the third point. Which one is the efficient method? Okay, so there you have to consider the cost, which methods you are using for that particular production, how much is the volume of that product, how you are going to store it, and what are the different media through which you are going to distribute it to the, let's say, end user. So everything is you can control with the help of hardware, softwares, and definitely there will require algorithms. Okay, so yes, this is how we can go with CIM, right? Next to that, you can say what you have to do. You have to order the necessary materials needed for the manufacturing processes. Raw material. Okay, so yes, you might be aware about that. Based on the psychometric proportion, we used to deal with the raw material in order to get the final product, or let's say the desired product. Okay, so as per the stoichiometry we can go with, but CIM somewhere gives us the best optimal values, right? And at the end, we must have that perfect quality. So quality control at each phase of the development. So what happens actually, you might be aware about the situation when we are going for manual production. The manual production, yes, you can go with quality check at every or after completing one phase. But what happens, you may have to change controlling variables once again. So your batch sometimes you may have to discard. Whereas the idea for CIM is you may manipulate your variables, you may manipulate your parameters, and based on that, you will be able to get the desired product. Okay, so yes, quality control for that particular system is very important. Okay, sometimes what happens in the CIM, they used to have different robotic parts. We used to say that assembling the product with the help of robots. Okay, you might be aware about this, that in automobile industries, many times you might have seen the videos as well. The robots, robotic hands or robotic parts these are used in order to get the in order to assemble the products. Okay. Then quality check, it is very important, and automated storage where it is to be stored. Okay. And automatic distribution of products from the storage areas to awaiting lorries and trucks. So it is very important actually, because there are, if you are working in a plant where your plant is supposed to supply your final product to different parts of country, and how to manage that, how to distribute them from storage areas to awaiting lorries or trucks, and then to the end user. Yes, CIM is also helping us to supply your final product to the end user. Okay, so these are the few points related to the computer integrated manufacturing. Okay, so yes, you may explore different points related to this computer integrated manufacturing. Okay, so this is actually the last unit which we were discussing about as per the syllabus, where many applications we have seen where we can go with the optimization. Right? There are some more parts which we can discuss in terms of optimization as well. Okay, so yes, that is now a kind of a task for you that will be open for all students in the Canvas portal for your further study, and that is to be submitted. Okay, so yes, that will be a kind of assignment for you. There will be specific questions or maybe general questions to all the students. Okay, so that I will share maybe within a day or two. You please remind me if I forget, but I will try to complete that by completing this session itself. Okay, so is it done with the optimization, with the optimization for chemical engineering systems? Devanshu, Deepak, any doubt in this? Devanshu?
No, sir.
Okay. Fine. So before that, if we discuss in terms of optimization, initially we discussed about optimization, what is it, and how we can use this concept in further study. Okay, so if we discuss in terms of, let's say, different methods available. Okay, different methods available, and if right, there are numerical methods which will be helpful while developing the system. Okay, let's say optimization system. Which are them? Uh, so you know that there are many numerical methods used for the optimization. What you can say, it is a kind of numerical optimization. Right? So in numerical optimization, you know the basic one. What are the steps involved in it? If you can remember. Different steps. Let's say initially you must be aware about problem statement. So in the problem statement, after the problem statement, you have to formulate the objective function. Once you have that objective function, you have to find out the constraints as well. Which are the constraints? So here already we discussed in terms of linear, non-linear constraints. Sorry, equality and non-equality. Sorry, inequality. Okay, so there are the constraints. Now what you have to do, you have to look for the variables, or you have to check the based on the constraints how we can simplify the objective function. Okay, so once you will simplify it, and what is your objective in terms of what you have to find out, or what you have to find out, or your final conclusion. Let's say what you have to find. Okay? Sometimes you may be asked to maximize or minimize the function in order to get the desired values. Or sometimes what happens, the function either it is maximized or minimized, it is given to you. And based on that, you have to find out the intermediate values. Okay, so it may happen. But what exactly you have to do? You know, initially, you have to find out that derivative. Let's say d by dt, for just for an example, and that is to be equated with the zero. Okay, so based on this methodology, you will be able to find out which one is your, either it is maximized value or minimized value. Okay, then further you have to check, cross check, let's say yeah, you can go with d dash by dt, first derivative, second derivative, third derivative, and based on that you can check whether we can find out the maximized or minimized values or not. Okay? So this is the general methodology in order to find out the optimized values. Okay. So I hope you will be able to perform the numerical optimization based on it. Okay. Sometimes the question will be, you have to find out the minimum area for any system. Okay, where a box with open top, right? A rectangular box with open top, and its and dimensions will be given to you, and let's say the amount of, or the volume that is to be occupied based on your objective, you have to find out the dimensions, let's say. Okay, so you know these uh, this is the kind of basic example which we might have solved during the optimization course, okay, in your UG. So yes, this is nothing but the numerical optimization. It is very, very simple. Okay, I hope you will be able to perform the operation if it is given to you, right? So yes, there will be one assignment based on it as well, where I will provide you some numericals which you have to try. Okay, if you have any doubt, please let me know, because this is very easy to solve, right? So apart from that, there are many numerical methods. So there are many methods for the optimization. Okay, so the one is conjugate gradient method. Okay. So conjugate gradient method is one of the method. used for the optimization. Okay, so here you might be saying that why we are going to, or why we should use this conjugate gradient method for the optimization for given system. Okay? Because it has some advantages, like you can say it requires small amount of information. Okay, let's say small amount of information to be stored at each stage of calculation. Okay, so here you can see that in the initial step or initial generalized steps of the optimization we have seen, we have to go with d by dt, then second derivative, then third derivative, then you have to find out whether it is minimized or maximized. Okay, but the conjugate gradient method is something similar to that one, but here less amount of information is required, or it is stored at each stage of calculation. Okay, so yes, that confusion of having the variety of data or the calculation procedure for that, it is limited to the small data set. Okay, that is one of the advantage of this conjugate gradient method. Okay, then since we are breaking the information into parts, okay, what the first advantage suggests, that the information is being broken down, let's say, or it is partition. So what happens? This approach of solving or storing data at each stage of calculation, that will facilitate the use of this method for a large data set or large problems. Problems. Okay. So these are the advantages of this conjugate gradient method. Okay. Apart from that, there is one more method. You might be heard about this random search method. So what it tries to do, this is also one of the simplest method you can say. And then I think we have not discussed about the local and global minima. Is it true? Did we discuss this? Minima or maximum? Okay. That we'll try to discuss. You might be aware about it. So local and global, either it's minima or maxima. So distinguish, how to distinguish them. It's random search method. That distinction is very easy as compared to the other methods. Okay. So that is very important while choosing the method for the optimization, either it is advanced one or the simple one. What is important is that you have to divide your data as per your requirement, and it must be somewhat easy to perform. That operation must be getting the desired output within short time, right? So that's why we are going with number of methods, and these are explained in SS Rao, that is the book which we have discussed. Okay, so there are a few other methods, like you can say direct search optimization methods. Right? So, which are the direct search optimization methods? So, consist of golden section search method, right? Golden section method. The next one is Fibonacci method. The third one is Juice method. Fourth is by Friendly. Sixth and Hemsworth method. One more, you can say Nelson and Metz method. Okay. So these are the direct search optimization methods. But let's say it has advantages and disadvantages. So in advantages, let's say for the direct search optimization method, you can say, right, if your objective function, let's say I'm going to write this as f of x, is discontinuous. Okay, right? If it is discontinuous, then and either it may be non different, yeah, non-differentiable at any point of time, correct? Some of the points, okay. Second, it goes, the random method can be used to find the global minimum. So it has several minima, then you can go with the global minimum as well. Okay, so though it can be used for the variety of situations, but it fails to give some satisfied result to shallow regions. Okay, sharply varying functions. It cannot be used for sharply varying functions. It's a shallow regions as well. Okay, so there is limitation. You can see there is limitation. Okay, so where it can be used, let's say it is non-differential discontinuous, okay, or sometimes derivative of that f of x, d by do not exist. Okay, if this is very complicated, I will write rather complicated to compute. There we can use this direct search optimization methods, and a function which has very less variables. You can say few variables. There also we can use this direct search optimization method. And sometimes the you initially might be aware about the optimal solution, but that is the rough run. Okay. So you can say rough idea about the optimal solution. Okay. So these are the points where we can use this direct search optimization methods. Okay. Yes, there are many methods based on your application. You can go with them. You can work on it, right? So this is what I thought to discuss in today's session. Okay. Any doubt up to this point, Devanshu, Deepak? Okay. Fine. To summarize what we have discussed in today's session, we started with CIM, Computer Integrated Manufacturing. Okay. Then what exactly it is, how we are going to implement CIM in different industries, not necessarily with the process industries, chemical process industries, but how to perform the optimization with the CIM that we have seen. After that, we discussed in terms of optimization, how to optimize the given function or the objective function, how to extract the maximize or minimize values. Okay. Then we have seen a few examples, let's general examples where we can apply this optimization method. And then we started working on the numerical optimization, different methods like conjugate gradient method, random search method, which are the different methods, advantages, disadvantages. Okay. And I'm also asked you to go through the local and global minimum. Okay. How we can represent that. Okay. So this is what we discussed in today's session. Right. Still, if you have any doubt or if you have any suggestion, you may write in the chat box, students. If you have any doubt or if you have a suggestion, you may write in the chat box. Devanshu, please make sure that you will complete your presentation. Because we have some more presentations as well, so you guys wait for it. Okay. I will give you sufficient time, don't worry about it. Okay, then thank you very much everyone for joining this session. Meanwhile, if you have any doubt, you may contact to me directly. Okay. So in the next class, we'll try to discuss more about the simplex, and then some more methods, and definitely we'll go with the examples as well. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining this session. We'll meet in the next session with the same link. Till that time, take care and bye bye.
Thank you, sir.